Hey man, how's it going?
Well, not too bad. My blinds have been weird, man. The wind and pressure change has been like it pushes out my blinds, it sucks
Yeah,
it in.
I'm getting a bunch of that as well. It's annoying because it's
Like
like
I,
it
I
also
am
makes it
liking the
bright, so it wakes
yeah,
me up. Yeah,
I'm liking these cooler nights though, but like it's like,
yeah,
hey, maybe this is gonna be a crap winter coming up, even though it's only August.
yeah. Well, summer's almost done for us already, even though we just kind of got it. But it has been
Yeah,
hot, so I'm happy for
it's
the cooler nights as well. But yeah, we'll see, we'll see.
our Canadian 2 weeks summertime where everyone's
Yeah,
like, yay, it's
almost gone.
hot. Sheesh, it's hot. Why is it this hot? And then it goes back to kind of the cool nights. Like, I kind of miss the heat. I don't, me personally,
Yeah,
but
most
I'm not
people
going to take it
don't.
away from people who like it.
For
You
sure,
live
for
in
sure.
Canada for a reason.
Yep, makes sense. But yeah, welcome back everybody to Bite My Shiny Metal Cast, the show where we discuss all things Futurama. And yeah, well, here we are for the second episode of Hulu's return in season 14. Their words, not ours, but whatever portion you want to call it. The fourth Hulu portion or season of 10 episodes. Episode 2, Catfish Hunter. Okay. So we had kind of discussed this episode, obviously, with our predictions as well. Was there anything that was, I can't recall, did anything come up specifically with it at the time? Or was it very much a.
I think it just said that Bender got into catfishing or something like that.
Bender did. Okay. Right.
Yeah,
And
which
they were right.
he kind of didn't. He was more of a ride along with it.
But he still got into it, right? Like he was part of it, right? But okay, point is, this person correctly and vaguely predicted the episode before us, so we were able just to piggyback on that, right? But yeah, it's an okay episode. It's not great. It's definitely forgettable. There are a few little
I've
things
watched
that.
it.
Yeah, you've watched it a couple
here.
times. I've seen it the one time, and I thought it was fine. The most memorable thing I think about this episode is that, and it also starts off the episode, is that Bender's grandmother, his Abeulatron, right, because he's Mexican, she returns, and the voice actress returns before her passing, which I actually didn't know she was dead. But yeah,
not until the end of the thing where it said in memory of her.
In memoriam, yeah. So she's and they kind of make a dark. I don't know if they did that on purpose, but it's like a dark joke at the very end. Yeah, it's like because he says like, "Oh, you're never gonna be back" or whatever. She's like, "I'll live forever." And then at the very end, it says "in memoriam." You're like, "Oh, they planned that?"
Oh my god! Now that you've said that, that is so much darker than I thought it would be.
Yeah,
no, I think that's just Futurama being a dick, and then just a unfortunate
just a coincidence.
Yeah,
okay,
coincidence.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah,
just in case for everyone who didn't know, the voice actress Renee Victor. I don't want to put a flare in it because I'm white, and I don't want to put a Spanish flare in it. She was actually in the movie Coco, which I think most people have seen. She was Miguel's grandmother, not the old lady, but the one that threw shoes at him. There we go. Fun fact about her.
Was she not also in what's that one with the magic family? Is that not her? The grandmother?
No, I don't believe she was in. What was that? Enchanted or in Encanto? Encanto, whatever the freaking phrase is for that one. Yeah. No, that one was more racist. So no.
Okay, so she was in Coco. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I know she was from there. Yeah. Well, yeah. Brief synopsis is a little bit more brief than our previous episodes one, but this one will be. It's like so. We basically we'll see. We basically start off with Bender and Fry visiting because so. Okay, so we're kind of in this weird continuity thing again, but Bender's Abeulatron, who we've just talked about, she has moved into an old folks home because apparently she doesn't want to be with her family, or her family didn't want her in Mexico anymore. They moved her all the way to New York, and she's now in an old folks home, so Bender can come and visit her or whatever as her like most distant / loving, grandson or whatever. Despite the fact that we've never actually met any of Bender's actual, like, we never met his parents per se, even though
we have.
We haven't.
We did. It was the episode with she was not literally a robot. She was a crane in the factory.
That's right. Yeah, but we never met her though. Like
she has not had any voice lines or any kind of line. We've seen her in a little flashback songs. We have seen her.
Right, and even that's true. We've seen her, but we've never actually like met her. We have never seen her like on screen with Bender before. But it is a continuity thing because in Mother's Day, all robots are said to show or see mom as their mom. Hence the reason that they call her mom, right? But
Yeah.
any case, the getting off the point. Point is, Abeulatron now lives in New York. Bender's coming to visit her. The thing is, though, Abeulatron is apparently also kind of an entrepreneur, and she made this threading thing or sewing thing that allowed her to make a bunch of money, which she's like kept secret, and she was going to give as inheritance to Bender and her closest relatives, but she has been on this quote unquote dating app, and she's been seeing someone who's like this. I don't know what you call it, this super handsome robot or whatever online.
Telenovela.
Yeah,
I don't think I said that right.
Who's like perfect and all this stuff, and he's like, oh, he must love her and all this stuff. But Bender clearly sees through it because he's on the outside. Bender clearly sees through it as like a scam. And
How would he scam an old lady?
Right, it's like, and apparently their old folks' home is particularly the easiest target because everybody is so lonely that they're easy to scam. So, any case, Abeulatron unfortunately is getting scammed by some random person, which we will meet in the future or whatever, and they basically, or she's basically giving like sending money to this person, right? Whoever the scammer is. So Abeulatron feels sad because she thinks like, oh, nobody actually truly loves her and she's lost a lot of the money or whatever. But luckily, Bender stopped her from giving all the money away. And we'll come back to that later. So anyways, Bender, wants revenge. So he gets his coworkers, right, Fry and Leland, the gang, to, help him scam the scammer. I think they even say that. And yep. Bender pretends to be an old robot who's also in the old folks' home. And so he gets the call for the scam and he instantly falls for said scammer as well. So I think he loses his money or he loses something. And so he travels to, I think, this place called Scampton, which is basically like this backwater town. Not even really a town. It's like this like gas station and a few things. But if anybody's ever seen like one of those old shows like Dukes of Hazzard or anything like that, you have like the old corrupt sheriff with like their little stupid sidekick. In this case, it's actually like an orangutan.
I didn't like the orangutan.
Did you catch the name of the orangutan?
What was it?
Like fiddle.
Banjo,
yeah. Fiddle. Like they're named after instruments. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So anyways.
Deputy Fiddle instead of Dr. Banjo.
Right. So Fiddle and I think it's Fiddle anyway, but I know it's a musical.
Yeah, it is Deputy Fiddle. Yeah.
So Fiddle and this sheriff, I can't remember his name, but in any case, they're basically like, hey, you be careful, they're folks, like all this stuff. It's like this backwater Mississippi type of looking area because there's like swamps and everything. In any case, Bender gets to this place and he finds the scammer's location, all this stuff, and blah blah blah. It turns out that it's this. Funny enough, it's a robot who's scamming people using this face technology, and she becomes like a bunch of different people, like robots and everything, by turning on this face technology. But her actual face is so beautiful that nobody would ever fall for her or something. They wouldn't fall for it as a real thing. So she has to like dumb down her looks. So Bender instantly falls in love with her, right? And we find out that she's obviously catfishing a bunch of these older residents of the old folks home and other places and getting money. She does it to humans as well because Sal's on one of the calls. We see Sal again as a cameo.
Yep, he's in there. Yeah,
right. But it turns out that it's another play on words, just like we had in the previous episode with Beef. This episode with Catfish turns out that although she is catfishing people, she also has a catfish farm, which she's been trying to build up money for in order to get the investment, in order to make her farm actually happen. She has a bunch of catfish. That's why she's in this like area of these ponds and everything in the middle of nowhere. So she explains this to Bender, and she needs them to get money. She needs Bender to get money for her in order to like make this a reality or whatever. And he's like falling in love with her. And we basically get to the two of them working together to try and scam Bender's friends because he sees like, oh, like they have money. We can probably get their money, such as like the professors and everything. And I think they basically just do that, right? Like so Leela and those guys pretend. Well, the professor doesn't know, but the Leela and the guys, Leela and the gang, they all pretend that they are being scammed by Bender and this girl. Can't remember her name. And when they're kind of like thinking against each other, kind of thing, and then they all go to this town. They get arrested. They get into trouble with the sheriff. They have this weird calculator thing that basically makes it look like a certain amount of money. I think it's one of those. Right. They have to impound the ship. Right. They impound the ship, which will cost $1,000 to get out. So they have to, and they have a bunch of this money that has like $100 bills or something wrapped around these Professor Fun Bucks or something that we've never seen them before. But it's this whole sack of these fun bucks with like a little bit of money in there. So it's actually not $1 million on the ship. So they get the ship impounded, tell Bender and the scammer, okay, if you pay the 1,000 to us, you can get the ship, and then the money's on the ship and you can get the $1 million. So you only have to spend a little bit of money to make all this money, kind of thing. But they tricked Bender and her to getting $1,000 out by going to the machine and getting out $1 million, because the two dots are at the two bottom, like there's two little tiny zeros that look like the dots or whatever for the calculator.
The decimal point.
Like the decimal point, but it's like two zeros. So instead of getting $1,000 out, they get $1 million out. Blah, blah, blah. They get the ship, hijinks in snare and shoes with like a Dukes of Hazzard parody. Like they're driving on, like, the Planet Express ship has like wheels and they're driving through. Getting chased by the sheriff and I almost said Dr. Fiddle and Deputy Fiddle and Deputy Fiddle, and they just get through. And it turns out that the money, like it goes to, like, the money bursts out of the car or whatever. It lands into the catfish pond, we'll say, and the catfish eat it and they're happy for it, right? They have all this stuff. But it turns out that money wasn't actually the scammers. It was Bender's Abeulatron's. And her money is now all gone. So she has nothing left. And that's basically it. Oh, Bender does fall in love with her, like I said, and he wants to be with her, but then he doesn't want to be with her because she scammed his Abeulatron. So he's conflicted feelings, all this stuff. So he ends up not being with her. And he goes back to visit his grandmother, and they have that line that we just said earlier about, like, well, you're not going to be around forever. And she's like, I'm going to live forever. And that's how it ends. Very, very crude synopsis. As I said, not a play-by-play. But yeah, I mean, saying it out loud, like, the episode is okay, but it's definitely not very good. It's probably,
I would say it's more coherent than Beef, but not as good, if that makes sense.
It's not as funny. Yeah, it's not as funny. It doesn't have as many liners. It's okay to see the Abeulatron again, even though she was in an episode that I wasn't really a huge fan of.
Yeah, you and I discussed that. Like, just like okay, so you took away John DiMaggio's ability to do Earl, Barbados Slim, and other people like Wong. Not to take it away from Billy West. Yeah, but it's okay for him to play.
He can play a Mexican because he's made in America and whatever. But
no, he's made in Mexico.
It was, well, I know, but his parts are American. It's something like this. Like, it's so, because it's an American product, right? It's an American because it's mom.
He was made in Mexico, so
he was made in Mexico. I know that's what he says. His name is Rodriguez.
Bender
Rodriguez. Bender Bending Rodriguez. Bender Bending Rodriguez. But the problem is that Abeulatron and all that stuff from that episode, the one amigo
with Denny. Oh, what's his name?
Trejo. Denny Trejo. He's like, they're all like kind of evil. They tricked Bender into falling down that thing to be a sacrifice, and he still like loves her.
You know what? I don't think I've rewatched that season.
Well, that's what I remember.
It was bad.
She was in on it. Abeulatron was in on it. Like, everybody knew that.
Wow, how forgettable that she's evil. How forgettable. You're right. All I remember is that they were there and played the Mayan game in Mexico, which is like, right. I'm pretty sure that's not right, but whatever.
But they well, it is there. They did it. It's just like, yeah, that was it. So, so in any case, it's just funny to me that Bender is happy to be with his Abeulatron despite the fact that they tried to sacrifice him. So it's kind of a weird continuity thing, if I'm not mistaking the memory. But in any case, overall this episode is okay. I would probably rate it 5.5, 6. Like, it's not.
I'd still
funny.
give this one 6.
You say so you're a solid.
Yeah, it's a passing fail. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I think I said earlier, like, I've watched this twice now.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what happened. It's a very forgettable episode.
So can you? So can you even rate it that high then? Like, isn't 6 technically
No,
memorable? Like, wouldn't you rate it like a
no.
5 or a 5.5? Because like,
I'll say 5.5.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
I'll knock
there's
it down to
elements
that.
in it that are good, but it is kind of lackluster. And this is again yet another character we'll never see again. I think she was a guest star, but it was just
On her IMDb, she only has the 2 episodes. The one from the first one where Bender meets his family, and then this one. So I
no,
highly doubt that we'll see
a,
her again.
oh well, obviously not. She's dead. No, I'm talking about
Oh,
the
Ida
scammer.
Bell Sue.
Yeah. So she was part of that, right?
Well,
But
fun fact: she's
yeah,
played by Tress MacNeille, and you could use her for everything. Any kind of woman in this show, it's generally her or Lauren Tom.
Lauren Tom.
Lauren
Yeah.
Tom.
Lauren
Sorry,
Tom. Yeah, that's fair. So, any case,
Casey
yeah,
Gall
I'd
doesn't
say
do voices.
no, no. I would say yeah, 5.5 for me, and yeah, like you could watch this episode and then yeah, watch it the one time and then kind of forget about it. It is pretty forgettable. No, again, nothing. Just like Beef, nothing really comes out of this one as a that makes any kind of emotional connection to it, right? Aside from the fact that Abeulatron is now gone, like actually gone.
Life, yeah.
But then again, we only ever knew her for one episode previously, and that was not a good episode either. So, any case, that's all I really have to say for this one. How about you? Anything to add to this episode that you could remember?
No. I mean, like I was never into like what's the one with the cowboys or whatever ride the thing, and Jessica Simpson was in it.
Oh, which one was in it?
Jessica Simpson, the redo that they did like years ago.
Oh,
Dukes of Hazzard.
The Dukes of Hazzard. Oh, okay, yeah.
I think they were trying to recreate that one with this one, but I'll say that this one was very much like how the West Wing 10010, the whole
yeah,
not NFT one, the one with what's the fake money, the fake internet money one?
The Bitcoin. Yeah, the
Bitcoin stuff. Yeah,
that was in the 1011011. Yeah,
I'd say this one kind of gets put up in the same place. So they're trying to make a different style. Like I don't, you can't really do Western in Futurama. You can, but not the way they tried. And it's the same thing with this one. They were trying to make a Dukes of Hazzard thing, and it just didn't pass.
Well, it felt like a bunch of stories that were kind of amalgamated into this one, and it doesn't really fit the whole like you're starting it off with a scammer for Abeulatron who happens to be like it's a Dukes of Hazzard parody-esque thing, but it's regarding scamming, and it's to do with Catfish, which is a parody, not a parody, but like a play on words of the actual term to catfish someone, which is what she's doing to Abeulatron. So it's like there's a lot of little things going on here. It's kind of clever. It's clever, but yeah, it feels like it doesn't quite work the whole time with it, right? So yeah, I don't know.
They're trying to be too clever,
and I think maybe that's the point, right? It was too
clever
for its own
wrote
good.
this one?
But Shirin Najafi, I think is how you pronounce it. Shirin Najafi.
She was one that did Crab Splatter, and I think you and I both said we liked Crab Splatter. She also did Zap Gets Canceled. I think I remember us saying like
potential. Yeah. So this one, you know what? I put this one closer to a Zap Brannigan-esque. The Zap Gets Canceled thing. It's like it had potential
of the two. Of
course,
yeah,
Crab Splatter was great.
I
liked Crab Splatter. This one is just like it had potential, but there was just like too many different ideas that were kind of combined together to make it seem like it was interest or it seemed like it was clever, but it just didn't come across that way. So, any case, I would say 5 out of 5 for Catfish Hunter. You would agree?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Well, then, I'm looking forward to the next one.
The next one which is
Our Flag Means medical coverage, which we all know is going to be all about the medical health care, which definitely, is a topical thing. Could be,
but it is written by Ken Keeler, so hopes for that. That'll be cool to see. He's done some, obviously the finales and everything, so he's always done good episodes. But thanks again, man, for joining, and we'll see everybody next time for that episode. Our Flag Means what is it? Our Flag Means medical coverage, and be sure to like, share, subscribe, comment if you like, and we'll see everybody in the next one. So thanks again, Mitch. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too, man. Toodaloo.
Toodaloo.